Okay. I just woke up. Alright. Good morning. Uh, I really didn't do much this past week. I've kind of just been vibing, just watching episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I'm not really going to talk about. I mean, it's like one of the best shows ever, so go watch it. But, I did see two movies, since the last time I saw Smile, because I'm trying to get ready for the sequel that's coming out soon. And I saw My Old Ass with Aubrey Plaza. And I actually saw that one last night, and that one was phenomenal. It was so good. But first, I'm talking about Smile. I got some little bullet points written down because I kind of didn't like how, like the last couple times, I would have an idea and start talking about it, and then I'd be like, oh, there's this, and oh, there's that, and oh, I wish I wrote that down. So I took some more time. Oh, my back. I just woke up, so my back, I need to, like, stretch and shit. All right, whatever. Okay. Smile. There's gonna be spoilers for both, because I want to talk about them. Smile was great. I thought it was great. A lot of people didn't like it. Like on Letterboxd, I gave it 4 stars, and I even saw one person give it 1 star, and I was like, damn. I don't know. I don't know what I think a lot of their. Let me try, because I want to lean back a little bit. Oh, right. Obligatory shirt. Pretty cool. You got some boobs right here. Boobies. So it's pretty nice. Okay. But yeah, I saw one person, they were calling it Shit Follows. I thought that was funny. But I mean, yeah, like it's kind of similar. I just closed my door. It's kind of similar to It Follows, but it's similar. I don't think it's derivative or like a ripoff of It Follows. That's like saying, what's an example? It's like saying like Homeland. That's not a good example. Whatever. I'm tired. I can't think of a good example, but they're just similar. It's like, okay, here's the gist of what I was gonna say. A superhero is ripped off of another superhero. It's like they're just both super strong. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, yeah, it's both like an entity that follows you, but it's not like, and It Follows, it's in the world with you, and you can get away with it, and it's following you like this. In Smile, it's in your head, so you can't get away with it. No matter where you go, you'll see it, So it's like that one thing where it's really similar. And then, all of a sudden, like in It Follows, it doesn't try and torture you. It's just walking towards you. It's just trying to get you, That's it. It's not really, the fear is just, oh, it's getting closer. In Smile, this entity is literally torturing you, Like it'll make you hallucinate and talk to your mother that died in front of you, like our main character. So yeah, I didn't think that they were very similar. Also, because It Follows is about STDs, and Smile is about dealing with your childhood trauma, or I guess just trauma in general. But yeah, man, I wish I saw this movie in the theater, because sound design for TVs at home sucks ass. Okay, like I'm watching the movie, and it's like everyone's talking like this, and it's really quiet. I don't even know I hope you can hear me, because then that makes it better. But it's like this, and then it gets loud, and I'm like, God damn, bro, I have neighbors. Like, if I was in man, just sound design it's made for a theater, So it's just not, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, basically, if you haven't seen it, I just want to talk about it. Okay, so Sosie Bacon, daughter of Kevin Bacon, horror alumni, Kevin Bacon, Friday the 13th. She's like this, like, not really therapist, I guess, psychologist at the hospital for, I got my leg propped up. she's like a psychologist at the hospital, and she's working like 80-hour weeks, which I think is fucking nuts. But the reason I'm gonna talk about, oh my god, my hair. I'm gonna talk about it out of order. The reason she's working 80-hour weeks is because and oh my god, her boss tells her, you've been working 80-hour weeks. You've got to take a week off, paid vacation, basically. And fuck, that's after. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Before that, she's gonna leave for the day, and the camera like watches her leave, and then we stay in her office, and then the phone rings, and then she races back in. So the reason I think that she does that, where she's about to leave and then she stops herself at the last minute, and then also she's working 80-hour weeks, is because of her mom. Now, in the beginning of the movie, we see that she watched her mom die, or that she found her mom dead. But that's not true. She didn't find her mom dead. She found her mom alive, and her mom asked for her help, and she ran away, and then found her dead later. And that's like her guilt. I choked on air. It wasn't even spit I choked on. I just choked on air. So she has that guilt of not doing anything when her mom needed help. Now, everyone says that her mom died by suicide. But then, like, whenever we see that she found her mom alive, her mom is like, I made a mistake. Please call for help. So I'm like, was it an accidental overdose that she's like, I'm dying, I need help? Or was she going to try and kill herself, and then she was like, at the last minute, pussied out, I feel like it's the latter. Like, she was going to kill herself, and then she was like, no, like, she got scared, and she was like, I don't want to do this. And so she asked for Sosie Bacon, what is your Rose? God damn. Okay, she asked for Rose's like help, like, Rose, call 911. And Rose like literally just went she ran out the door. And then, her mom died, obviously. So that guilt is probably like eating her up, of like not being able to save her mom, not being able to help her. So I feel like that's what she's doing at the hospital, where she's overworking herself, because she's like, no, like, what if I need to save everybody. I need to help as many people as I can. And it's like, damn, girl, you're like, even her boss, Cal Penn, might I say, from the Neil Patrick Harris movie, Harold and Kumar. Yeah, even he's like, we can't help people unless we get our mental health in check first, or something along those lines. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. I can't believe she didn't think of that, I guess when you're that sleep deprived, you're not really thinking straight, but but anyway, so she gets that call, and it's Laura Weaver. Basically, she kicks off this movie. If she wasn't as good as she was, I don't know the actor's name, but if she wasn't as good as she was, the movie wouldn't be half as good, because her fear tells us what to expect. She's on day 6 or day 7 or day 5. I don't even know what day she's on, but she's like, if she was any less scared, we wouldn't be that freaked out about what's coming, But she sells this scene, man, the actor. And so she freaks out, she sees the thing. Here's okay, so at the very end of the movie, we find out what happens when it gets you, because guess what? Rose dies. I got a notification. Oh, Instagram. All right. Rose dies. And that's another thing from, like, with It Follows. It Follows, it's like, yeah, you can give it to someone else and survive. In this movie, nah. I mean, we find out you can kill someone and traumatize another person, because this entity feeds on trauma. It feeds on your anguish. And so that's how you could do it. But then you're arrested because you killed someone. Damn. Getting blown up on Instagram. But yeah, like, and It Follows, at the end of that movie, yeah, they just have sex with someone. Boom, you give it to them. Easy, In this movie, you either die or you have to literally commit a heinous crime. Because you can't just kill someone and have someone see it. It has to be visceral, And that's going to give you a lot of jail time. So no matter what option you do, you lose. So that's another reason why I kind of like this one. Oh yeah, Rose dies at the end. That's crazy because she thinks that she beats it, but then we find out it's just all of that was a hallucination. Like, and she didn't do any of that. And the entity was just stalling time until Kyle Gallner, I'm gonna talk about him in a second, until he shows up. And because, it needs someone, once it kills you, it needs someone else that is traumatized to latch onto. So then she sees him, and it was a really great moment. No! And she ran into the house. It was so funny. Yeah, and then, so when she's back in the house, it's like, before she had ran out, and like before when she thought she killed it, but it was a hallucination, it had taken the form of her mom, but like 9 feet tall, and so it was all like stretched out. So now it's still that, but when it's like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now, Rose, because we have a witness here. It just pulls its face off, and it's like a meat monster, but it has like a jaw smile, a jaw, and then a jaw, and then a jaw. It's just rows of teeth. So it's like a smile and then a smile and then a smile and then a smile. Look up Smile 2, the poster. Okay, they had a poster with a guy from the trailer where he was kind of like that. They like edited it. They made an edit to it, and they cut his face up. And honestly, he kind of looks like the monster, so it's pretty cool. Kyle Gallner. Right. Not there yet. Got to go back to my last point. So we see that the monster has all this rows of teeth, and then what it does is it grabs her and rips open her face, pulls her jaw like way down, and then just crawls inside, because that's how it possesses you. Because then, Kyle Gallner breaks down the door, goes in, and then sees that she's doused herself in gasoline. She's like a match, and then just sets herself on fire. And then is just smiling at him, and now he's cursed, and that's how the movie ends. Very cool. I very much liked that. But in that first scene with Laura, the one that kicks off the whole thing, the one that transfers it to Rose, when she sees the entity, which I think she sees it as her grandfather, because Rose saw it as her mom, and then it's almost always people that also had a trauma earlier in their life. Like Laura got it from a professor that, bludgeoned himself with a hammer in front of her, and he had seen his brother die when he was younger. So I'm guessing like the final kill is like someone you saw die when you were younger. So I wonder if she saw her grandfather. God damn. I'm so popular on Instagram. But yeah, because then like she falls on the ground, she's like backing up into the corner, and then she does this thing where she's like, and in the movie you're kind of like, or the first time you watch it, you're like, what the fuck is she doing? But now I'm like, damn, that was the monster like opening up her mouth and crawling into her. Because then the next time we see her, she's possessed and she's smiling. She has like there was a vase that she knocked over when she fell down, and she has that. She literally just right here and then falls over, still smiling. Fucked up. So that's how Kyle Gallner gets into the movie, because he's a cop, so he shows up, Kyle Gallner, though, all right, I'm done with that that's all the scenes I really wanted to talk about. The beginning and then the end. So Kyle Gallner, Smallville's The Flash. That's how I first met him, watching Smallville on the CW, or I guess it was called the WB back then. But yeah, that's it. Oh, he was in Strange Darling. He was also really good in that. That was it. Monster design, I already talked about that. Other people don't like it, I already talked about that. The first scare. Sets the tone. Y'all hear that? My toilet's going crazy in there, man. The plumbing in this building. Anyway. The first scare, crazy. God, I hope you can't hear that. That's really aggravating. Anyway, I'm gonna plow ahead. The first scare, after she sees Laura, I can't get over it. It's just happening for so long. after she sees Laura kill herself and she goes home, and then she's drinking. She goes to the fridge and she gets a glass of wine. And she's standing at her fridge like to the back. So it's dark in the kitchen because she was in the living room or the dining room or something. So she has lights on in there, and she was just coming in. Obviously, you open up the fridge, there's lights, so she doesn't turn on any lights. She's just getting a glass of wine. So it's dark in here, and she drinks it, and she just sees, not even far away, dude, it looks like it's like 10 feet from her. And it's just not even like in a corner, just on the other side of the room. It's Laura smiling at her. And her face is kind of shrouded a little bit, but like you can tell it's Laura. And it's not even like a ghost thing. I would be like, who the fuck broke into my house? That was terrifying. I was watching this movie like I was like heavy breathing, and my eyes like started tearing up because it was terror. I was filled with terror. This movie was very terrifying. There's a difference between terror and horror. There's like bad event, okay? Terror, actually, because this is being recorded. Is it flipped? I don't know. Fuck it. Terror, no. Bad event, fuck. Bad event. Terror is what you feel before the bad event. Horror is what you feel after, And this movie was very terrifying. That's enough. Okay. Be gone from me, thoughts. That's funny. Alright. My train of thought is fucking crazy. Okay, My Old Ass. I cried. I sobbed. I watched it last night. By myself, I might add. If the people that I normally go see movies with are watching this, I had to go see it by myself because, I have a music thing. I'm into music. Putting music above film. Ridiculous. Aubrey Plaza was great. Maisie something. I don't remember what the main character's name is. I mean the actor. The main character's name is Elliot, but I don't know the actor's name. I think it's Maisie something. It was so good. Okay, I cried. Okay, so this movie, the whole like theme of this movie is don't take your current life for granted. Like when you're looking to the future, I'm like, I can't wait until I do this. I can't wait until I do that. I can't wait until I do this. It's like, appreciate what you have though. Like, yeah, still look forward to it, but don't be like, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to leave. Like, because the main character, she lives in Canada and she's on a cranberry farm and she's like, I want to go to Toronto. I want to go to the big city for college. And like, sorry. I can't think straight when I first wake up. But yeah, so she's just wanting to get out of there. And they all take shrooms. Her and her two friends, they go out onto like this island and they take shrooms. And oh my god, it's beautiful. Wow, wish I lived in Canada. That's crazy. So when they take shrooms, Elliot sees her future self. And it's Aubrey Plaza, and she comes back. She's like, oh my god, what's up, bitch? It's so funny. And basically, that night, Aubrey Plaza puts in her phone number from the future. This movie works best if you don't think about it too much. Let it wash over you, So now, after the shrooms experience, past Elliot, our Elliot, can now like call to future Elliot or even text with her. And basically, the only bit of advice that future Elliot gives is avoid anyone named Chad. Because she's like, I don't want to tell you anything and mess up like my life. So all she says is avoid someone named Chad. Elliot meets someone named Chad. Who would have thought? It's crazy. And she's like, so she thought that she was a lesbian, but Chad is the first boy that she's ever liked. So she's like, maybe I'm bi. And I really liked how this movie does all the labels stuff. Because a character even says, like, use labels when they fit you. And when they don't fit you, just stop using them. Like, it's not a big deal, Like, a label isn't, like, the definition of who you are. It's just what you want to use, I think of, like, a label, like bi, gay, straight, I don't know, trans, pan, I don't know, all the fucking whatever, as like a shirt, you know? You put on what you want, and if you like it, you keep it. And then if you don't like it, you can get rid of it, you know? Take it to a thrift store, whatever, I don't, but like just, you know, I feel like some people get too ingrained in like, no, it's who I am. My shirt is sewn into my body and I cannot take it off, you know? And it's like, all right, it's not your whole identity. It's just a shirt. It's just, you know, whatever. But yeah, so it's like Chad is like the first boy that she's ever liked. And her non-binary friend Ro is like, hey, fuck it, go after it, you know? And she kind of does. And then she can't get in touch with her old self. And it's like 4 days. And so she starts falling in love with Chad. And then her old self, it's really funny. Oh my God, no. This was the best part of the movie. This was the best part of the movie. So she takes shrooms again because she's like, oh, that's how I got my old self here the first time. She does it. She just hallucinates. Oh my God, she pretends. There's a whole Justin Bieber dance musical number. It's so great, dude. Because she goes to the island again with Ro, and Ro is like, then, you know, she goes off to be like, old ass, are you here? Anyway, so she comes back, Ro is gone, and Chad is there. And she's like, what are you doing here? Oh, my back. And Chad is like, oh, you know, Ro said you wanted to let me inside your world. And she's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then it cuts back to Chad, and he's in like a 12-year-old girl's outfit, and he has like he has like the little like pins? I don't know what they're called. But he has like that in his hair, and then it cuts back to her, and she's in like a tank top and with like a backwards hat, and she has like a mic thing right here, and she's like, what's happening? And he's like, something about one less lonely girl, like, when you went to that concert, every girl wanted to be the one less lonely girl, but I know that you wanted to be Justin Bieber. And yeah, and then there's a musical number where Justin Bieber she is singing the One Less Lonely Girl song, and Ro and another one of their friends who I don't remember her name, they are her backup dancers. And you have Chad as the like preteen girl sitting on a stool that Elliot as Justin Bieber is like dancing around and singing at, and it's so funny. Dude, it was so funny. That was the best part of the movie for me. Yeah, that was really great. So it's like 4 days go by. God damn, I can't get a win. 4 days go by, and then they kind of have sex, dude. I'm gonna be honest, this was the most romantic sex scene I've ever seen, and it was between two 18-year-olds. Or I think he's 19, because he says that he goes to the college that she wants to go to, so I think he's 19. This is the most romantic. They were like on their boat, and they were out in the lake, and then it starts raining, and so they get drenched, and they go to this like boathouse thing. I don't even know, man. It looks like a community thing, because I don't think anyone owned it. I hope not if they did this. But they go in and they change, and they go, it's like a 2-story, and they go up, and the second story is kind of like a gazebo, where it's like a ladder up, and then like a trap door without the door. So you just go onto like the wooden platform, and it's just open, and you have like a roof, and then you have like a fence, guardrail around it, you know? So and then you just see the lake around you, and all the trees, like not really any houses, a few, but man, it was so beautiful. And then, yeah, they hook up, they have sex. No way either of them had a condom either. That's crazy, you know? I was thinking that she got pregnant before the reveal at the end. I was like, dude, avoid Chad because he gets you pregnant. And so then they had sex, and I was like, no way they have a condom. So I was like, oh, dude, she's pregnant. That's crazy. But I was wrong. So then she gets back, her old ass comes here because she got high as shit. And I guess that's how they can traverse. They get really high. So she gets really high, and she shows up here. She's like, hey. She's like, where have you been? He's like, I was at a hubby retreat for 4 days, and I come back to 200 messages from you. It's really funny. And then she's like, what's so bad about Chad, huh? Just tell me that, because I really like him. And guess what? We fucked. And she's like, God damn it, no. Why did you do that? And she's like, what's so bad about him? Tell me. She's like, I can't. He's like, tell me what's bad about him. And she's like, I can't because there is nothing bad about him. He died. I was going nuts. It was me in the theater. I was alone, but there was a couple, like 2-3 rows behind me and to my right a little bit. So I was like, I had no one. So I was just like, oh my God, no, he dies. It probably would have hit harder if Chad had a cuter hairstyle. Gonna be honest, I wasn't big on his hair in this movie. It's just a little too thin for it to be that long, you know? Like if I like guys with longer hair if it's full, like if it's thick, if it has volume, you know? But if it's that thin, I'm like, oh, what are you doing a little bit, you know? But that's not on the actor. It's probably on like the makeup, costume design, I don't know, whatever. I don't think I really, whatever. I'll keep it here, my notebook. So yeah, Chad fucking dies. And that is why she said stay away from him, because she's so sad. And she's like, I didn't want you to deal with that heartbreak. And then while they're talking, Chad just shows up and says, oh, you forgot this. And then is like, oh, hello. And young Elliot is like, can you see her? And he's like, am I not supposed to? He's cute. He is cute in this movie, you know? And old Elliot, excuse me, must be all the sleep I just had. It's kind of fighting my stomach. Stupid. Fuck. What was I saying? Aubrey Plaza. She starts fucking tearing up. I hate to see that. And because it's Chad. It's the one that she loved and died. And Chad's like, okay, well, I'll leave. And Aubrey Plaza says, no, you stay. I'm gonna tear up again. Oh my God, I'm remembering this. She said, no, you stay, I'll go. And young Elliot is like, no, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. And so she's gonna go, and then Chad's like, okay, well, see ya, because Elliot introduces her as her uncle. So he is under the impression that it's family, you know? So he's like, oh, okay, well, see ya. A hug. And she goes, and she hugs him. Oh my God, dude. And then it's just that close-up of her just tearing up. Like she gets to hug Chad one more time. Also, Chad, what kind of name is that? I hope it's a Canadian thing. They should have named him Bill or Ted or something. As a Keanu Reeves reference. But yeah, I don't know. Chad and also the long hair, I just wasn't really feeling it. But man, yeah, that, and then she walks away. And it's just like, I wrote down the quote of, it's better, 'tis better, my bad. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. You know, like Aubrey Plaza was trying to save her younger self from the heartbreak, but it's like, no, like, that makes you who you are, you know? And then like if you don't have that heartbreak, you get rid of the bad memories. You get rid of all the great memories too, you know? And that's why she made that change, is because she saw the little banter between Chad and young Elliot and how like giggly they were both getting. And she was like, yeah, I'm getting a call. Invisalign? The fuck? 629? I don't even know what that is. Nah, get out of here. I don't know who the fuck that was. Invisalign. Get the fuck out of here. Alright. I cried. Yeah. I cried at that part. That made me cry. And then at the very end, the last scene, because what she says is like, God, no, you just gotta watch this movie, because there's so much that I can talk about. I'm at 30 minutes already. God damn it. At the end of the movie, young Elliot is just driving around on the lake, and it's just her driving around. And it's that for a solid like 20 seconds. And then the movie ends. And that made me tear up. Not tear up. That made me bawl. Because the whole movie is talking about like, you don't know something is the last time you'll ever do it until it's like 5 years later and you realize, oh, I haven't done that since, you know? And so she was just enjoying the moment, and she knew this is the last time she'll ever get to do this. So she was enjoying it, because her family is selling the farm and they're gonna move. So like, she was like, why didn't you tell me you're selling the farm? And they were like, oh, we didn't think that you would care. You just always talk about leaving. And she was like, yeah, because I thought this place would always be here. And so it's like, even when she leaves and she comes back to her family, she won't come back here. This is the last time she'll ever do it. And I started crying because I started thinking about myself, of the house that I basically grew up in. I was there for 10 years, from when I was like 7 or 8, and I moved out when I was 18. And man, I just wish that I could go back and just stay in my room a little bit longer, Like the last time I was in my room, there was no furniture in there. It was just an empty room. But I wish I could just stand in there one more time, Because that was my room, man. I would have started crying again. And then also, it really hit with this movie of being able to go back and give advice to your younger self and hug your younger self, because I wish I could do that a lot, Let me do this. Because I'm autistic, and I didn't really find that out until like 2 years ago, and then everything made sense. And I think back on my childhood a lot, and there's so many things that like I just didn't know how to process, like in social situations, and just like getting made fun of and bullied for being like weird, and all that. I just wonder if I can think of, oh yeah, like there's one example. This is like the worst one. Like I played Dungeons and Dragons. I still do. It fucking rules, But I was playing it at like my friend's house, and I always got picked on. I always got bullied because it was funny, and I took it, and I never said anything back because I didn't know I could. I was just like, oh yeah, this is how it is. So another thing that they would do, this is just a little bit of backstory, because it's not the first time they did it, was like they would take my phone and then they would like look up hentai accounts, like anime porn accounts, and just follow a bunch of them, and then clear the search history so that I couldn't just go back and like unfollow them. Because the reason they did that was because this is back when on Instagram you can like go to, there was like a folder, not folder, whatever. There was one page where you can see, oh, the people that you follow, they followed someone, they liked this post, they, did whatever. And so the reason I did that was so that people could go to that page and just see, oh, Ashton followed hentai lover, whatever. Ashton followed cumboy, I don't know. So they've done it before. This time we were playing, and God, I'm gonna have to come up with fake names, dude. All right, let me see. I got John. I got Trevor. I got Colin. And I got Aaron. And I got Larry. Sure. The first letter of all these names corresponds to the first letter of who it was, okay? I'm almost done. This is gonna be the last thing, so hopefully I don't hit 40 minutes. So, John? John takes my phone and is like doing that shit again. And so I'm like, okay, please no. And I try and take the phone back, and Colin and Larry both grab my legs, because I hit 6 feet before I was even a teenager, so I was big. So Colin and Larry both get my legs, and then I think like Trevor gets my arms, and they're holding me back, and I'm still, no, I don't think anyone had my arms, because I remember doing, okay, yeah, so just Colin and Larry each get my legs, but I'm still like going forward. So John runs out of the house, And then they let me go because he's gone, And I'm like, guys, like, stop. What are you doing? Because I've always had like a high-pitched voice that, even when I was a kid, I got made fun of, called squirrel voice, or chipmunk. It was chipmunk because Alvin and the Chipmunks. My nickname was Chipmunk. I hated that. That was awful. But yeah, so then John runs out the house and I'm like, I don't want my phone. And they're like not letting me leave. And so then Aaron is like, well, how about this, Ashton? I'll let you leave and go get your phone if you can wrestle me and make me tap. Because it was, we're masculine. We're going to bully you. And the only way you can get out of it is if you physically confront us. So I'm filled with rage right now because everyone is against me. And I hated that because it was like that all the time. This was like sophomore year. Sophomore year after this incident is when I was like, I'm not friends with any of these people anymore. It had been from 7th grade to 10th grade of me dealing with this. And then after 10th grade, I was done. So 11th and 12th grade, I was just on my own. I didn't really think of myself as having friends, So then I'm like, okay. So then it's like, okay, start. And I pick him up by the legs and we're in the kitchen. So it's like hardwood and I slam him on the ground and I get my forearms on his throat and I just fucking get up on my like tippy toes. So it's all my weight. He immediately taps and I go get my fucking phone. And, John had come back in by that point and he went and he got my phone because he had hid it in his car. He went outside and put it in his car. So they got my phone back and I had to fucking unfollow all those hentai accounts. And then, how maybe when someone could see how upset I am, they might apologize, go, hey, we took it too far. I'm sorry about that. No. 2 things were said to me. 1, Aaron said, wow, Ashton, I actually respect you now. Been friends for almost 5 years. Now you respect me now? Okay, that's cool. And then Trevor said, yeah, see, if you were wrestling me, you wouldn't have got me like that. Okay. What are you talking about? Like, I didn't say that I would. I didn't say anything. And so that was I still continued to hang out with them. That's the bad thing, But I had no one else that I was friends with. But I was just like, whatever. But I was done being friends with them. They all, in that moment, they all became acquaintances, basically. And I'm like, I wish I could go back in time and just be like, you don't have to hang out with them, Like, you're young. I was 16. You can make new friends, even before that, man, there were so many moments and times, like, this was also 16, where we were at, it was me, John, and Colin. We were at John's house, and John, we were, like, smoking weed. So John went to, like, go get the shit, and then me and Colin were there, and Colin was like, yeah, man, how does it feel that I can just tell you to do whatever I want? And I was like, huh? He was like, yeah, like, you first hit a vape because of me, you first started smoking weed because of me, and I was like, well, actually, I started smoking weed because there are these two girls that I was friends with, and I hung out with them, and I smoked weed. I didn't say that, because this was at that point where I was just like, I didn't care. So I was just like, okay. He was like, yeah, I just peer pressure you to do whatever I want. What? Why would you say that to me? Like, they were wildin', man. And that's just like, I felt so lonely when I was a kid. Oh my God, I was so lonely. I had no friends, because they were all friends. And then it was like, if any one because this is what they said was the dynamic of the friend group was, oh yeah, we make fun of each other, we pick on each other. But then as soon as one person would get picked on, they would throw it at me, and then they'd all pile it on me, It was kind of like oh, you're making fun of me? I don't like that. Hey, let's make fun of Ashton. You know how we all like to make fun of Ashton? Yeah, fuck you, Ashton. So it's like, I was so lonely, man, but I didn't know that. And I'm so much happier now. That like I wouldn't want to go back in time, literally, and like redo it, because my life is so much better now. Oh my God. But like I wish I could just go give him advice, you know, of like, hey, like I know you, I'm not even advice. I want to hug him because he was so lonely. He was so alone and he didn't know it. He thought that he had friends. That's the sad thing, dude. He thought he had friends. All right, I just crossed 40 minutes, but that's why this movie, My Old Ass, it's such a funny title, but that's why that like touched me so deeply. But yeah, I really loved that movie. I really want to watch it again. I'd love to own it. I need to like look up when it's gonna be, you know, what am I trying to say? Available. When it's gonna be available for like home purchase, home release, whatever. Because I'd love to own this movie. Very beautiful. But yeah, okay. Oh, I need a thumbnail for this because I always just kind of go, yeah, I'm sure I can find a thumbnail. It's fine. I don't need to make a face. Okay, bye bye.